The Bulls. Come on, bro. Chicago Bulls. Game 1 in the books. Win the game 115 to 111. Try to give me a heart attack. Try to give me a heart attack. At one point, they were up by like 19, and they were letting the Pistons storm back. And it was honestly driving me crazy because this game had everything. This game had a little bit of everything. Matas Buzelis absolutely hooped. Love him for this. 21 points, 6 rebounds, 7 of 12 from the field, 7 free throw attempts, knocked down all of them, had 3 blocks. Crazy high energy. Love what he was doing. Him and his former G League Ignite buddy, Ron Holland, were going blow for blow, and I loved every second of it in terms of those guys having that little mini 101 battle within the game. Nikola Vucevic, shout out to you, bro. You're building that trade stock up even better. Last year you came off of shooting 40% from beyond the arc. In this game, 28 points, 14 rebounds, 4 of 6 from beyond the arc. I smell 2 first-round picks and a young player in a potential NBA trade very, very soon. That's all I'm saying. Nikola Vucevic, if the Bulls are smart, I said this before, if the Bulls are smart, they will find a way to trade Nikola Vucevic by the trade deadline and get the most that they can possibly get off of him. Because otherwise, you're either going to be looking to potentially pay him soon or he gets to walk for nothing. Right now, his value is as high as it's ever going to get. Not only is he an expiring contract, but he's a floor spacing big now. Hopefully, that's the consistency of it. Because if he's consistently a knockdown 3-point shooter from beyond the arc at that center position, he's gonna have insane value on the trade block. So shout out to bro. Josh Giddey, 19 points, 11 assists, love it. Insane bench production. 41 points off the bench 29 points, because Trey Jones started, 29 points off the bench from Kevin Huerter and Ayo Dosunmu. Both each hit a pair of threes. Let me remind you, Kobe White did not play in this game due to the calf strain. You get Kobe White back. You bump Trey down to the bench to play with Kevin Huerter and Ayo Dosunmu. Love that for them. Still pissed off about Patrick Williams. I'll have to rant about that a completely different day for those who have not listened to me on other podcast platforms. Me and Patrick Williams have a very hate relationship. I loved him first coming out of the draft. Thought he was a really interesting prospect. Everybody was calling him the next Kawhi Leonard. I fed into the hype. I was stupid for that. But we'll talk about that in a different episode. Chicago, love what you did game 1. Resilient, effective, played very fast, and in Matas Buzelis we trust. Come on, man. If I don't care how many games we win this year, if Matas Buzelis wins Most Improved Player of the Year, the Chicago Bulls won in my eyes this season. That's how I look at it. This isn't about making the playoffs for the Chicago Bulls. I'm sorry. I don't care about that. Yes, the likelihood of a year 2 player winning Most Improved Player, very low. But what if he just jumps off the page that much? What if he just jumps off the page that much? If Matas Buzelis can be in the Most Improved conversation, if not win the whole dang thing. Let's say if Matas Buzelis can finish top 5 in voting for Most Improved Player this year, the Chicago Bulls won the season in my eyes. They won the season in my eyes. I don't need them to make the playoffs in order for me to feel like it was a good season for them. Just tell me Matas Buzelis was in the Most Improved Player conversation. Because that tells me that we're finally moving in the right direction. We finally have a draft pick who looks like he's going to be competent enough for us to believe in him, competent enough for us to build with him, has the energy that says, okay, we can lean on this guy as a go-to part of our core. I think the fit between him and Josh Giddey is perfect because he gives Josh Giddey an athlete to work with in the open floor, which makes him really dangerous in transition. I think he's a good rebounder for his positional size. I think he's a solid defender for his positional size. And right now he is the Chicago Bulls blue chip. He arguably is the only one because Josh Giddey's solid. He's solid, and I think Bulls fans are starting to slowly but surely gravitate more towards Josh Giddey. I think you look at the Alex Caruso trade and you still kind of have a little bit of a sour taste in your mouth because you're like, that was a guy who was good enough to put the Oklahoma City Thunder over the top to win a championship. And you traded him basically for a player you had to pay $20+ million for straight up. But I think when you take the money out of it and you look at what Josh Giddey can do and has done from a productivity perspective, I think Josh Giddey's a solid player. Pat Williams that's a throwaway. It didn't hit. It didn't hit. We wanted to hit. It didn't hit. Kobe White, established. I think you could say that he's a blue chipper. I guess he's just been on this team so long that he's more of like a veteran in this version of the Chicago Bulls now, but still youthful. So you can call him another blue chipper. We don't know about Noah Engages yet. Got to coach his DMP in this game, so still don't know what he looks like on a real NBA floor non-preseason minutes. But I'm going to end my Chicago Bulls mini rant by saying this much. I do not have high expectations for the Chicago Bulls this year. I know the Eastern Conference is down. I don't care. This is not about the Chicago Bulls making the playoffs. I don't care if they make the playoffs. I don't want them. I don't care about them making the playoffs. I don't care about them making the play in. There are 3 goals I have for the Chicago Bulls this upcoming season. I want Matas Buzelis to be in the most improved player conversation. I want the Nikola Vucevic contract moved for hopefully positive value to maximize, honestly, the best version of Nikola Vucevic you have left as a trade chip. Because guess what? If you end up paying him this summer, you're not getting nearly the kind of return that he deserves based off of what he's been able to do as of last season and the start of this year. So I want them to move Nikola Vucevic before they mess around and lose out on the kind of value he has right now. And number 3, another really strong year from Kobe White. That's all I want. Nothing crazy. I don't think that's too much to ask. Another strong year from Kobe White, a most improved caliber year season from Matas Buzelis, and let's try to get some positive value out of Nikola Vucevic. You do those 3 things, Chicago Bulls are moving in the right direction. You don't, still end up having questions about what the heck this roster is and what the heck our future looks like moving forward. That's really how I feel. I'm a pretty simple guy. I don't have too many expectations for a Chicago Bulls team that's still trying to figure themselves out. But I think that Nikola Vucevic being moved would be a signal that this team finally understands what they need to do in order to move into the true rebuilding phase. And as far as the other 2 young guys in Buzelis and Kobe White, it's just knowing that the 2 guys that are probably the most talented on the roster are taking strides in the right direction. Last but not least, speaking of Nikola Vucevic, former Orlando Magic, the Orlando Magic, bro, they're going to be a problem.